Hello everyone, welcome to Larissa's Lace. I will wait a little bit more so that more participants will join us. So get ready to crochet. Probably the most difficult background knitting in Irish crochet lace. It's a background knitting with clones knot triplets. And I skipped few background knittings in the book, but not to just don't think that I will not come back to them. I decided to skip few and go into the clones knot triplets since it makes sense to continue with clones knot stitch a little bit more, because last lesson we were making background knitting with clones knot stitches like that, single clones knot stitches. And this week, I think it was on Monday, Tuesday, I posted a video where I was showing 3 different ways of making a clones knot stitch. And I would recommend to all of you to try to crochet clones knot stitches all 3 different ways to find your perfect way of making clones knot stitch, which way you will feel more comfortable. All 3 ways are correct, all 3 ways are acceptable. You just have to choose which way you like to do that. And so today we are going to learn, first of all, how to make triplets, clones knot triplets, and then I will show you how to make this netting. I can see that already some of you come in here, more people joining us. So a few things, announcements I want to do. First of all, subscribe to my channel if you are not. If you are first visitor, subscribe to my channel, and also press the bell, little bell button, so that you will receive notifications every time I go live or every time a new video posted in my YouTube channel. Many times I already post for all my visitors, for all participants. I always post the links to my Facebook, to Instagram, and also to what is the channel? Pinterest. To Pinterest. You can find me in all those places with the same name, Larissa's Lace. Also, if you don't remember all the links, you can see my links and you can get them to them through this YouTube channel. So if you will open my main page, which is home on YouTube, on top of the page you will see the picture of lace with pearls. It's called a banner. So on the banner, on the right lower corner, you can see 3 buttons, or well, they called buttons actually. And at the bottom you can see Facebook, the name Larissa's Lace, Instagram icon. Well, actually, correct way to call it icons, right? Facebook icon, Instagram, and PayPal. PayPal, it's for donations. I'm not demanding donations from anyone, but if you appreciate and like what I am doing, you can donate to my channel just to support this channel, to help me out. And I can show you, if you want to do this, during this video. You can always make donations via PayPal. Here's the link where you can go. I also want to ask you, please don't forget to like videos, like them, comment, ask questions, and if you don't have chance to watch my videos live, if you missed some of them, it's not a big deal. You can always come back and watch the same video in recording the same day, a little bit later, and all those videos will be saved and they will be here. So now I would like to show you, let's start our lesson, and I will show you first, before we will make this netting, I will show you how to make triplets with clones knot stitches. So to learn and to make them correctly, let's pick up a little bit thicker thread. I will use my mulberry silk. It's soft, easy to work with, and I will show you how to make it. And then we will jump on the learning process, and we will learn how to make the netting. For learning how to make just triplets, get a hook that are you comfortable with. Number 1 millimeter will be great, 125 millimeters, and a little bit thicker thread, number 20 or 10, just to practice and to understand the process of this close knot triplets. So let's just make a chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I will just get 15. So we already know that to make, I always use the one method I prefer. It's when you start making your close knot stitch, I'm making chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is the first step. Second step, we are wrapping around this chain and the hook thread with 8 yarn overs and thread that we draw from under the chain. We bring hook under, pick up thread and pull it up so that we can have all those loops together. I will zoom in so that you can see better. And you repeat this process 8 times. So yarn over and thread from under the chain, like around the chain, and bring it to the top. So each time I do this, yarn over and thread, those 2 loops I count as 1. So I have them 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we do that 8 times. And we will have 16 loops on the hook. Now we will have to, third step, grab the thread and pull this thread through all these loops. Creating this little cocoon. And the fourth step, the last step to finish close knot stitch, we go with the hook around the chain that precede this cocoon, pick up thread, 2 stitches on the hook and crochet them as 1. Okay, I see already we have more people. Hello everyone who just joined me, Elizabeth, Nadezhda, Anne-Marie, Valentina, and Renee. Welcome, ladies. I'm glad. And there are some people I don't even know their names. They are not commenting. So please don't forget, during the lesson you can ask questions and I will answer you. I will crochet a little bit and check your questions or comments, and then we'll continue. So this is one clones knot stitch. Now we have to make two more. We have to make triplets. So after you closed your first clones knot stitch, we're making next stitch. Again, we're making chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is first step. Second step, we're wrapping thread around. Yarn over, thread from under the chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we wrapped around 16 times, 16 loops. Third step, grab the thread and pull thread through all those loops. After that, closing this clones knot stitch. Oops, I lost my stitch. Hopefully I can pick it up. Or not. No, I didn't. I lost it. It happens sometimes, so let's undo it again. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And pull thread through all those 16 loops. Grab the thread one time and around. You can see where the chain 4 was, right? The beginning, going around it. Grab the thread and close knot stitch by making this. It's more like a single crochet we're making here around the chain. So this way we made 2 clones knot stitches. They are next to each other. And the third one we're doing the same way. We're making chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, wrap thread around 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Actually, correct will be 16 wrapped around stitches. I just count 2 as 1. And I showed it already in other videos. So now again, pull thread through all the stitches, all those loops, like that. Then close with slip stitch. Make sure this stitch is nice and tight. And again, looking for the space right in here. Here's our stitch, beginning of the stitch where the chain 4 was, between the second and third stitches, right? Between those 2 cocoons. And make single crochet here. So this is how they will, if you did everything correctly, slowly, this is how it will look like. Now the last step, now we have to make single crochet around this chain. We will go around the chain in front of the first clones knot stitch. You saw where my hook goes, right? So this will be first, second, third clones knot stitch. With the hook we go around this chain just close to the first clones knot stitch. Go around pick up thread and make sure all this now tight here, and you close this with this single crochet stitch. Be careful not to lose your thread. Like this. And now we have our triplet. I will make a chain here. Just to show you how everything will look like. So here's our triplet. Clones knot triplet. This is how it will look like. Okay, now practice this many times to make sure they all look nice and neat. And now let's make our netting. I'll put this in front of us so that you could see just slight little picture in the corner what we're making. And let's crochet. I probably will show you, let me show you this first, a diagram that I draw from with my hand, by hand. And it just as simple as possible. I'm not good at drawing. So here we will need to begin this netting, we will have to start with chain, multiple of 10 plus 1 stitch. Plus 1 stitch. So it can be 50, 60, 70, how long chain you will need. For practicing a small swatch like this one, I have here 50, chain 50 plus 1, so 51 stitches. For the lesson, we can make it shorter. I will take 30 stitches only. Then, after that, we will skip 1 stitch on the chain and we will make single crochet on the next chain stitch. After that, we will make chain of 7, and then we will make our clones knot triplets, then chain 6 and skip 9 stitches here and go and make single crochet stitch into the 10th stitch. And we will repeat this way. Notice this, that we will make, when we start, 7 stitches, chain 7, triplet, chain 6. This is the way pattern goes. And even this is this chain is longer than this, 1 stitch longer. It is needed for that triplet to be closed with single crochet stitch when we go around, when we make all 3 stitches and we go around this chain right here and making our single crochet stitch here to close the triplets, that it will look closed like a clover. And at the end, again, we'll make 7, triplet, chain 6, into the last stitch we will make single crochet, and then we will start our second row. For the second row, we will have to make chain 6, chain 7, and we will make a triplet, clones knot triplet. Then we will make single crochet, chain 6, and since we will turn our work, on the back of the work we will make single crochet stitch into the first clones knot stitch, then we will make behind this stitch chain 1 and single crochet stitch into the third clones knot stitch. After that, and I will show you how to do this, and we'll have to make sure that when we do that, our chain between the single crochet stitches will be in front of that stitch. When we will go back and crochet facing the close knot stitch in the right side, we will do a totally different thing. When we will go back, we will make sure that when we make single crochet stitches on first and third, our chain between those two stitches will be in front, behind the top close knot stitch. And I will show you all those little tricks as we will crochet right now. It's impossible to show on the diagram unless you go and crochet all this. So let's try to do this together. For this lesson, to make it a little bit faster, we will make 31 stitches. Let me take the right hook. I pick up purposely the little bit thinner thread today. Last lesson I was using thick thread. Right now I will use this one. It's number 12, DMC number 12, perle cotton. And crochet hook, 0.6 millimeters. Спасибо, Lilia. Thank you so much. So let's start. 31 stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. So chain is multiple of 10 plus 1. So now we're going back, and first row begins with skip one stitch from the hook and into the next chain stitch, make single crochet. Single crochet. After that, next step, we're making chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now, after that, we're making our close knot triplet. So I will try to make it again slowly so that you can see how I do that with fine thread. So for our first one, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, wrap thread around the chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And you remember what I do, right? I move my hook inside this row, those loops, to kind of open them a little bit, stretch them, to allow my thread to go through. I always hold this here so it's easier. And pull thread through all these loops. Make sure the stitch is tight. Close one time and go around the chain and close your close knot stitch second time to secure. I always go and pinch a little bit my close knot stitch to give it a shape of rounded cocoon. This is the way they look in traditional Irish crochet lace. By the way, I really wanted to show you something. In Russia and Ukraine, the ladies in Eastern Europe, they make in close knot stitch like that. I wouldn't call this close knot stitch because it's not finished. They make this cocoon, but they never do this close. They never make slip stitch and then single crochet. They just lay it flat along the bottom to create this beautiful kind of motifs. But they even never call. I heard only one time in one of the videos that it was called close knot stitch, but since it's not completed, you cannot really call it close knot stitch. They call it wind. I don't know how to translate in Russian viтой узелок, but I just cannot translate it right out of my head right now. something you weave wrap around. Wrapped stitch kind of sound a little bit silly, but let's say it's incomplete clones knot stitch. Okay, so let's come back to our netting. First, clones knot stitch is made. Second, 1, 2, 3, 4, and wrap thread around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm not doing it. I'm not teaching how to make clones knot stitches anymore because I made plenty of videos to show how to make perfect clones knot stitch. So you already have to be ready for this lesson and know how to make clones knot stitches. So closing second clones knot stitch. Here they are. Now we have 2 clones knot stitches next to each other. Now we're making third clones knot stitch. Again, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wrap thread around it, around the chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And close your clones knot stitch once with slip stitch. Make sure that this one is really tight and going right before those wrapped stitches where the chain 4, the beginning of chain 4, for this particular stitch, and close with single crochet, just like that. And now we're closing an entire triplet. We're going with the hook around the first chain before the first clones knot stitch. Pick up thread. Make sure now that the stitch that was before on the hook and this new stitch that the loop that I just made are very close together, that it's all tight in here, and close it like that. So this is how it will look like. At first it will not look very pretty, but as soon as you will connect to this triplet your next stitches, that will make more sense and you will see how it will all work for you as soon as you crochet everything tight here. So this is our first triplet. Next step, chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's go to our chain, our main chain, foundation chain, and skip on that chain, starting from this first stitch where we made single crochet. Skip 9 stitches and make single crochet stitch into the 10th stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So into the 10th stitch, make sure to pick up 2 loops into stitches. And make your single crochet stitch here. So this is your triplet. It looks a little bit silly, but it will look way better. Let's make another one. Next arch. And if we come back to my diagram, so this is where we're at. Now again, chain 7, make triplet, chain 6, skip 9, and single crochet into the 10th stitch. So let's continue. Chain 7. Somehow my hands keep moving away. Let me move camera a little bit. I can see that. I'm sorry, it's shaking a little bit, but I have to move my camera so that you can see my hands better. Okay. So chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and making triplet, clones not triplet. So first stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 4, and wrap thread around. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, why 9 and 10? I'm going and counting all the way to 10 for some unknown reason. Okay. um, Trying to figure out what's going on in here. A comment 31, 31, 31. Is that a question? So closing with slip stitch, and then my clone's not stitched, doesn't look really pretty here. Stitch came out somehow. And around the chain. Close the second time with single crochet stitch. Next stitch, clones knot stitch 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then wrap thread around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. First, pull threads through all those stitches, close with slip stitch, and then around the chain, single crochet stitch. And you can pinch a little bit your stitches to make them round. And third clones knot stitch again, chain 4, and wrap thread around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and just to those who knew, I count as 1 yarn over and thread from around the chain as 1. So we have 8. Now we're pulling threads through all these loops, close with slip stitch, and then going around the chain, closing this. So we have triplet almost done. Now we're going around the chain. Here's our hook, you see, before first stitch, around this chain right here, and make sure it's all tight, and close your triplet. After that, triplet is made, and making chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now be careful here, it's a little bit twisted. Find the right side of your chain, and it's easy to see when you look at where your first arch with the triplets, right here. Now we will go and count again. Skip on the foundation chain 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Oops. Okay, I have to count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And make the single crochet into the 10th stitch. Again, making last, I have to make last arch with triplets. When I crochet, this is how I learned when I was a child, so probably I don't want to confuse anyone. In some books, people call this loop, all this part. I used to call this arch because it reminded me of an arch. So this is how I go. So first arch, second arch. Or you can call it a loop also. So now let's make one more. So chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and making next set of triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Making first clones knot stitch. Always remember that your clones knot stitch consists of 4 parts, 4 steps, I mean. It's very important to close it. So you saw what I did. It was a little bit kind of disfigured, but when you push here with 2 fingers on the sides of your clones knot stitch, it will make it nice, rounded, beautiful, neat looking stitch. After that, again, chain 4 and wrap thread around it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I will do it one more time because I have a longer chain somehow. And close one time. And around the chain, single crochet stitch. So 2 clones knot stitches are made. Third one, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and wrap thread around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 8. And now closing this cocoon, creating a rounded stitch. And after the last stitch, clones knot stitch is made, with the hook going, you see where the head of the hook, right? We're going around the chain that precede first clones knot stitch. Grab the thread and crochet, have 2 loops on a hook, crochet together. And when you see that your clones knot stitch kind of disengaged a little bit here, you can always go and press, kind of squeeze with your fingers a little bit both sides of stitch to make it look a little bit better. And now the last step, chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we will go trying to think, is it twisted here or not? With fine thread, first row always troublesome. And again, we're skipping 9 stitches on the foundation chain and going into the last chain. I think I made a little bit longer chain here because this is where my 10th stitch. So make your single crochet stitch here. So first row is done. It is not pretty yet, but it will be way prettier when we will continue. This is how it will look like. Here. Oh, I know where I made a mistake. I did not actually skip 10 here, 9 stitches. So this is how it is. Hello from Holland, Jenny. Hello. Hello, Anne-Marie. And I will look at question from Anne-Marie. Would you do this in a thinner cotton with being a background netting? Yes. All background netting in the traditional Irish crochet and even in modern Irish crochet is made with much finer thread. When you make motifs, you use always thicker thread for flowers, leaves, and branches and different cords, but when it comes to the background netting, you always use fine thread. When you're learning how to make your background netting, of course, first, especially difficult background netting like this one, I would recommend to use a different thread, a little bit thicker, just to learn how to make it. And then when you will make your project, final project, of course, you will have to go and get fine thread, like number 80 or 100. Okay, second row. Second row, let's come back to the diagram. For the second row, we will make, hello from Hamburg. Hamburg, how to say correct? Hamburg. It's in Germany, as I know, right? Well, Christina, I'm glad you found me, and make sure to subscribe to my channel. Press the bell button to receive notifications. For now, I'm coming to this channel every Thursday at 12 o'clock our time in America. I'm broadcasting from United States, so you will have to find what time it is in Germany. I'm glad you're here. So join us, just grab the hook and thread and let's crochet together. And Renee have a question. What size hook are you using? I'm using right now with thread DMC Perla Cotton number 12 and crochet hook 0. Oops, the wrong hook here, 0.6 millimeters. Okay, and what else? I'm using 1 millimeter and mine look bigger than yours. Well, you know, here's my 1 millimeter hook. On the video, it's going to be, of course, different from what you use, but I used this one only to show the first stitch with silk when I was showing how to make triplets, but I don't use number 1 in my Irish crochet at all. My thickest hook that I would sometimes use is 0.9 millimeters, and I use it for making Romanian cord or any other cords, but rarely. Rarely I use, and 1 millimeter I basically don't use at all. The hooks I use always for motifs, I use 0.6 or 0.5, and for background netting, 0.3, 45, 0.5, 0.4 millimeters, so things like that. What crochet hook I would use for thread number 80 or 100? For this thread, you have to use, of course, finest hook. Some people use, if they don't have finer hook, 0.5 millimeters, but I would recommend for the thread 180 to use one of those three, or 0.35 millimeters, or 0.4 or 0.45. Those hooks are called micro hooks, and they are made by Tulip Company. How to look for them? I do have actually the link to those hooks. I'll have to find it, where to find them, but you can go and look for Google steel crochet hooks or micro hooks, micro crochet hooks, micro hooks. You can find them. They are available on many websites. If I will have time, I will look for, and I will put it in the description. After I finish this video tutorial, I will I will add some links for you in the description under this video. So you know where description of the video to look for, do you? When you go and look at my video, if you're looking on the, I'm trying to see where you can look for it. Right now it's not here, but when you look at the videos later, at the end, you will find that there is description right under the video where the name of my channel, there will be description. And sometimes not everything fit, you will have to press show more where everything else will be. Does it make sense? I hope I explained correctly. So, okay, let's come back, ladies, to our second row. So first row I finished with my single crochet stitch into the last stitch of the foundation chain. And now with the second row, I will have to make chain 6, chain 7, make triplets, chain 6, and then I will have to stop and show how to make this, how to connect to triplets, okay? It's quite a different story. So let's make our second row. So chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now we're making triplets, clones, not triplets. So first stitch, 1, 2, 3, and 4, wrap thread around, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. After this, close with slip stitch and then with single crochet. Second clones knot stitch, again chain 4 and wrap thread around. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And closing our clones knot stitch with slip stitch and then with single crochet. Two stitches and third stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 4, and then wrap thread around this chain. 5, 7, and 8. Now I'm focused and I'm quiet. So 3 stitches are made, closing our triplets with single crochet. Everything is the same, repeating the same thing. Now we will make chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now coming back So just let me show you. So this is our first row. We made our turning chain 6, 7, triplet 6, and turn your work. Make sure you're on the wrong side now. Now on the wrong side, and this is how you connect to triplets. Pay attention. It's all zoomed. This is what we're going to do. So first we're making single crochet stitch on this first clones knot stitch. How to make it? You see how the clones knot stitch look like? It's rounded and have like a little opening in here. So this is where we will insert our hook. This is where we connect. Pick up here your hook, your clones knot stitch, right into the, I would call into the heart of the clones knot stitch. And make single crochet here, helping yourself with the other fingers. Make single crochet stitch here. Then chain one, and this is what I was telling you. Your chain one, since you're on the wrong side, has to be in front or behind this clones knot stitch here. This stitch basically not involved in connecting. We're connecting to the first and to the third stitches. So single crochet stitch, connect to the first clones knot stitch, chain one, and now we're going to connect with single crochet stitch to the third stitch. Here again we're going from this side, from the middle of a triplet into the center of this clones knot stitch and make single crochet here. And you can see I'm doing it very slowly so that you can see. You have to be very carefully move threads through, not damaging this clones knot stitch. Those wrapped stitches, you are not poking through them. Like this, single crochet stitch. That's it. If you do everything correctly, what will happen by connecting with single crochet stitches like that, it will make your triplet kind of be closed. The first and third close knot stitches will go to the front more, and then will allow this little middle close knot stitch also create a beautiful clover-like leaf. Here's the right side of it. Already make more sense, right? So let's make it again. We have plenty of time to learn. So you connected. Now next arch, we will connect to the next triplet. And then I show you how to, in the third row, how to connect on the right side. We're right now on the wrong side of the work. So chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and make triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4. I will go a little bit faster. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So first clones knot stitch. Of course, I'm going faster for the video because it takes time. I want you to more pay attention. Already I made you showed you how to make triplets, but I want you to pay attention how to connect to triplets. This is also very important. Four, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I hope you are all doing well with making all this and follow me, okay? You can always just watch it at first and continue later with lessons again. Try it to do it by yourself. My second clone knot stitch doesn't really look very beautiful. This is what happens when you go fast. So after triplets we make chain 6, which I don't know, I did not count. So let me recount here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my triplet here look a little bit kind of messy. I can fix it later. Now let's look one more time how we connect. So on the wrong side, we go into, here's our first clone knot stitch. Here's the center of it. We'll go with the hook right in there. I'll try to make better. You can see, right? Here's that heart of the clone knot stitch. This is where you're going. You could basically pick up that single crochet stitch, and in that single crochet stitch you're making, so here's your hook in the heart of that clone knot stitch, pick up thread, pull through. At first it doesn't look like it makes sense, but it will all lay down very well later. Let me one more time just go into it. Okay, here it is. It's quite difficult for me also to show it because I look through the camera. Okay, like this, and make your first stitch. The very important part here, not to damage the clone knot stitch and not to poke through all these stitches that are wrapped around. Okay, so since we make single crochet stitch into the first stitch, first clone knot, then chain 1 and then skip the clone knot stitch here, and we're going to connect to third one. And to the third one we go from middle to the heart of that motif, right in here. So also pick up thread and make your single crochet. Chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And making triplets. So first clone knot stitch, then second, 3, 4, and wrap around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And third stitch. If you have questions, please don't forget to ask them. Um, yeah, Renee, the most important thing at first, don't think that my triplets were beautiful at first. It takes time to make them, it takes time to practice. Now I connect on the right side of these triplets. So my close knot stitch is not as cute as I want them to be. But yes, it takes practice and time to make it, and uh, no hurry here. You have to do it slowly at first. 4, 5, 6. So one more time, we're connecting on the wrong side of the work, and then I'm showing you how to connect on the right side. So the most important thing, like you said, to have your motor skill, how to remember the right way of connecting everything and to crochet. And yes, Anne Marie, when I was learning, everything I learned from videos, for example, I like to watch first, just sit down and watch, and then later, together with the video and with hook and thread, I can learn, I can crochet. So first single crochet onto the first clones knot stitch, chain 1, and single crochet into your third clones knot stitch. And be gentle to clones knot stitches, it's very easy to damage them. So, okay, third row. For third row, I finished here, I connected, and after I connect it, I will make again turning chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can actually turn already, and now we're making 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. After that, we crochet our triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4. First 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Close your clones knot stitch. So I call it closing clones knot stitch with slip stitch and then single crochet. It just makes sense because that cocoon that was straight turning into a rounded stitch like that. That's how it's supposed to look like. And next 1, 2, 3, 4. And actually, it's nice to first time crochet with some thick thread, probably even with yarn, fine yarn and thicker hooks, so that you will see what you're doing. So your first, second clones knot stitch. It's most important to remember where you insert your hook and when. So second clones knot stitch, and now we will go with third. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I see my chain, so I'll make extra wrap here. Those triplets are quite a difficult piece. Yeah, it is the most difficult netting in Irish crochet, I would say. No wonder if it's a rare piece to see in museum. And most important to remember and see how they lay out those 3 triplets. You see how they look at first, And then you have to have with the hook around this first chain before first clones knot stitch. It's very important step so that you will not insert your hook elsewhere. Otherwise your triplet will look differently. Okay, so we made our first triplet in the third row. Now chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now I am going to show you how to connect to your triplets in front of your work. And then I'll show you how to fix, because right now you can see a little bit unruly and what to do with this unruliness, right? So first let's connect. Here's our triplet on the right side. So since we're on the right side, we have to go and connect on the back. So make sure first to see where the front of your old triplet and how they facing you. Now you can turn a little bit. I'm not sure how to show this good. So here's the front and now the back. To crochet it and connect, so you go to the back and connect with single crochet stitch to your first clones knot stitch, again going into the heart of that stitch, make single crochet. Now chain 1 and it's behind your triplet. Chain 1, chain 1, and again looking for your third clones knot stitch. Make sure it does look right, not twisted anywhere. Make it flat, put it flat to see the right side of it. And turn this way. Turn your triplet, like front, turn around, and make single crochet stitch. Okay, just a second, I myself cannot see my clones knot stitch. I have to make sure it is laying in the right direction, and it's what I don't see. Where the front, there is the back. Okay, here's the front. Okay, now we see everything. At least I can see. Okay, it's very important that it will not twist in your hand, like my clones knot stitch decided to move away from. So you have to help and your stitch and your hands where it goes, like this. So make single crochet stitch into the third clones knot. And here's the front. So when you on the wrong side, it's easier to connect actually. But when you come to the right side, you have to still kind of turn around to see the back of your triplet. Okay, so let's do it again so that you see one more time how to do this. So chain 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. When you go through the heart of clones knot stitch, are you using part of the chain 4 and single crochet? You know, I don't know what is actually going on there, because the clones knot stitch kind of like cocoon closed, and yes, you probably will go through that chain 4, but you really don't see chain 4, because chain 4 is hidden inside the where the wrap stitch is. So what I think, I will try to draw what's going on in the close knot stitch. So here's your close knot stitch when it's crocheted already. So this is your chain 4 right here. And this is your wrapped stitches around, right? So when we made our last stitch, single crochet stitch, we made it around this chain. So when you will make connection, you basically have to look, you have to go through this close knot stitch right where it is having this hole. I'm trying to find my bigger piece that I made today, and I don't know where I put it. I think it's in the waste basket already. So I will grab this right here, with a single one. I'm trying to find a bigger close knot stitch. Here's a close knot stitch. Okay, I think you can see. And you can see that opening here. You can see this opening, right? And single crochet basically is right here somewhere. So what you do is just work way better. You can probably connect on the back or on the front just to that stitch, but it's not very easy to identify it because so many things going on. So what I figured that if I will go through this center, or as I call it, a heart of the close knot stitch, and through this center pick up that stitch here. Make sure to pick up only 2 strands of thread. I know it will be kind of difficult because it's tight. My work is tight. So here it is. This is what you get. This single crochet stitch. You can get it from here or you can get from there, a little bit further from it. But then it does not lay on the, when you turn it to the front, your triplet does not look really good. So this is why I like to go through the center or through the heart of close knot stitch, if that makes sense. So you go through the center, basically pick up that single crochet stitch from center of close knot. But I would say no, you are not going through chain itself. Okay, if it was helpful, I'm glad. So now I have chain 7 and I will show again how to connect to the next one. So let's make one more triplet. Seven, 6, 7, 8. Oops, I forgot to make one more thing here. I forgot about this stitch. So you see, I made right now single crochet stitch. Let's examine a little bit since I'm here. So I made my close knot stitch and I made that single crochet stitch. So when I go through the center of my close knot stitch on the back or on the front, always going through center, so I basically pick up and slip stitch and single crochet also. So it's on the back, it looks really different from what I see on the front. Here's the back of close knot stitch. So in all honesty, it's kind of difficult even to explain what I'm getting there. So let's see. So here's this single crochet stitch and that slip stitch that I made to close knot stitch first time. So yes, basically I'm going through slip stitch more than anything else. This is what I am getting when I trying to connect this part. This is why I would recommend to do it with thicker thread to see what you're doing, and then do it slowly. It's very important not to do it very fast so that you see where you're going with your hook. So it's the first closed knot stitch, second, 2, 3, and 4, and let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Like this. Then single crochet. And the last closed knot stitch. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So here's our 3 closed knot stitches, and we go in closing triplet like that. Now chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and as you can see, it's kind of messy, so you have to make sense out of all this. Look what and where. Stretch it a little bit to find out where's our next place of connection. It's not looking really beautiful. I'm ashamed of my work. You see my closed knot stitch have this piece here. The thread is not very well done. Well, I don't like it, but what can I do? I have to connect. This is more important right now, right? Okay, it looks kind of funny, right? But as soon as we connect, everything will work. This is we're facing front of our triplet. So we go to the back. It's just easier that way. So here's our chain 6 and our triplet here. Front, going on the back, insert hook into the center of the, oh my gosh, I want you to see everything. So here's my triplet. I turn it to the back so that you can see. Go into the center of my closed knot here, and I actually pick up this slip stitch, I think. This is what I pick up, see? And make single crochet stitch there. So now since my hook is there, I can close all this and make my single crochet first. Chain 1. And now let's look for the right place for the third closed knot stitch. First, I have to identify the right position of it so that it is actually facing me correctly. Here it is. It's a little bit kind of on the side, but the center is here. So when I will turn to see on the back, this is where I have to go. It's not the easiest part. It was way better and easy. And just running away from me. Okay, here's the back. And again, I'm going this time from this side. And you can see here a stitch that takes me to the center, to the heart of that motif. As soon as my hook is in there, I'm making my single crochet stitch. And of course, I always go and I shouldn't go fast. I should go do it slowly for you. I like to squish a little bit those clones knot stitches so that they look nicer. This look way better because I wasn't really in a hurry making this, guys. Looks way better when I was making it yesterday. You can see they look way better. So here's the back side and the front side looking like that. So when you are not connected, you see how flat they look, those triplets. As soon as you connect, they kind of jumped at you. They kind of open this way to the front, looking at you. Could you please post a still picture of the back of a completed piece? You're talking about this picture right here? Yes, I will. I will make it. I will stretch it and I will make that picture for you guys. It's not easy to see what's going on, but I will. So let's do it one more time. One more connection right in here. Let's do this. I will try to do my best and slowly so that you can see what is going on. Yes, Elizabeth, I will make a picture today, and today we'll post in this Facebook page, Larissa's Lace, so you will see that picture there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So first clones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Next clones knot stitch 1, 2, 3, 4. It's actually explained in this book very well how to connect to the motifs, to the triplets. You put, they say single crochet stitch on the first clones knot. They are not exactly specify where exactly to insert the hook. So that is some kind of, it's something left to your own imagination. So when I was learning and making this background netting long ago, I was very unsuccessful. I couldn't figure out where do they want me to connect. I was going and using those stitches to connect, and of course every time I do that I will ruin the stitch. But you look at the picture and you can see that it looks really beautiful and nothing really connected to the stitches itself on top where the wrapped stitches are. So I started to connect to the stitches, to the clones knot stitch, not in the heart, but next to it somehow. So again, it's not specified in the book where exactly you have to go. And there's no picture, there's no, just nothing. And all books that I have in Irish crochet, all those antique books, nothing explained how to do this. So when you look at the picture, like right now, if you look at this right now, you could see how it looked like, right? So you can actually see, if you look like with magnifying glass, you would see where the single crochet stitches are. And of course, you know where the slip stitches. Slip stitches will be right in here, and single crochet right there. slip stitch, single crochet. It's not very easy to see, but you know it when you make it. So you probably don't see it on my work, but you know where your stitches are when it's in your hand. This is why it's good to learn with thick thread. So now I'm going around this chain and my triplet is done. And now I will show you again how to connect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And let's go to our last arch with triplets. Here it is. This is right here. I'm trying to stretch everything so I could show you probably a little bit better when it's stretched. And I will zoom. And let's do it again. So here's our front. When we're on the wrong side, right, it's easy because you see this stitch, the heart, and you pick up and you go like that. But when we go and crochet, oops, my hook's stuck in there. But when we need to crochet and connect on the front, we're still going on the back of our triplet, right? It's just easier that way. So here it is, our triplet on the front. Now I have to connect behind. So here's our first stitch. Here, I will hold this guy. And here's the first stitch. Here's the heart of it. And just wanted to show you where I'm going. Here's the heart. Right there. The thing is so small and jumping off my hand. Let's try again. Into the heart and pick up right there. This way I'm going. Right there. Oh, like that. You know, let me try something, some other trick for you. Just a second. I really want you to see all that, and it is important. So I'll put it on my board, on my styrofoam board. And this is what we will do. Of course, as you notice, I flipped my front to the back just for you to show where we will connect. Let me move just slightly, like this. And I want you to see this triplet, so let me move it like that and zoom a little bit more. So I turned my triplet from front to back for you to see. So you can see this heart here, the center of the clones knot stitch, and you will have to there you go. I will use the pin, especially to hold this. It feels like it's alive. Okay, so here is that clones knot stitch, and if when you go and examine the way it look like, you can see this. You see this right here, this stitch. So you can pick up both strands of that stitch from the back when you go through the center. Here it is. This is what you pick up. You see where the hook is going into center and here it is. This is the stitch I picked up, and I will make single crochet stitch here. Let me do this. Just a second. I will have to pin a little bit more here. So when I will show it to you, it will not jump into my hands anywhere. This is our previous row. I will pin that. And let's see what else can I pin here so I can see and show. I'll pin that. Pin like that. So nothing will move for me. This, we really don't have to pay even attention how I pin this right now. You don't have to do this. You have to do it all in hands. So now, here's my chain 6, right? So when you will come in here, okay, I need closer. Like this. So when you will connect on the front, facing the front, you still have to flip it a little bit to the back to see where you're connecting. So you go into the heart and you basically pick up the stitch right there, this stitch, and make single crochet stitch here. Like this. Then we will make chain 1, and then we connect. We skip this clones knot, but we connect to this one. And here you also looking for that slip stitch, basically, that connect our clones knot stitch first. And I will have to ruin a little bit this guy in order to show you. I think my hook went to the board. Okay, here it is. This way it goes. You see? So I will just remove my hook for a second so you can see. So this is actually single crochet stitch right in here. Slip stitch was here. And it's easier and better to connect to that slip stitch because then triplets will look prettier on the right side. If you can see it, my triplets, oh, just a sec. I want to show the right thing here, connected triplet right in here. If you connect the way I show you, the side close knot stitches, they will almost close the triplet in such a way that it will look at you. It will turn those stitches toward you on the right side, if that makes sense. So here it is. This is how it goes, right in here. Never did the clones knot triplet this way, but during the lesson you sometimes discover ways of explaining things. So this is how it works. You connect single crochet stitch to the first clones knot, chain 1, and another single crochet stitch to the second. Well, I hope it did make some sense. Please let me know if it was helpful. Not really. I did not, don't connect to the chain at all. I don't know why you see that I connect to the chain. So I was actually on the front. So here it is. So let me just one more time. I will undo this and instead of the board, show it in my hands. So let me come back to this triplet that I just finished. I will redo here. I'm trying still, Anna Marie, to read your question. Looks like the last stitch you connected the clone to the chain 6 to chain 7. Oh, are you talking about when I was closing this one? When you close triplet, I think I know what you're asking for. Okay. So when you make in your triplets, you make chain 7, first close knot stitch, second, third, and then you connect triplet to this chain of 7 right before the first close knot stitch, right before, right in here, you see, right there. Go around the chain 7, right close to the, those guys stop jumping at my hand, like this. Yeah, this is how you close your triplet on your first chain, chain 7, and then you make chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think, Anna Marie, you came to the lesson a little bit later, because at the very beginning, when you will watch this video again in recording, at the very beginning, I'm showing how to make triplets with thicker thread, so it will be very helpful. Okay, so let's look. So here's our triplet, and we are on the right side, but when we're on the right side, we still have to connect on the back to the triplet. So we're going to see it will be helpful to turn this, go into the first close knot stitch, connect with single crochet, chain 1. So basically your chain 1 will be behind the triplet if you face in the right side. And then we connect to the third close knot. Again going, here's I pick up actually slip stitch, you can see that. It goes through the heart of it. And make another single crochet stitch. Since it's very fine thread, it's not easy to, here it is, pull thread through and connect. Like that. You basically will see that chain 1 right here. You see? Okay. So this is how you're making it. 1, 2, 3, 4, doesn't really matter. That's it. So how to fix all this to make sense? Of course, it doesn't matter. Or you were making this background netting with single clones knot or with triplets. At first, they look like this so cute. You know why? Because I blocked it and steamed it. So what I would recommend you to do, at first you will make, and it will not make sense. It will look like what I have now. Why it look like this and this look like something beautiful and this look like this? It's simply because I didn't finish it yet. All I was making, I'm just crocheting, I'm still at work. And you see how it's all look like. But when you finish, at least swatch. What you do, you block your netting on a styrofoam pad or polyfoam. You can also buy blocking mats. They call blocking mats at knitpicks.com. I think it's .com or .org, knitpicks. And you remember how I block my piece, my swatch. First stitch, then connected stitches. And then I go and connect or block my stitches. Pull it on a side first and then up. But first I like to block sides. And then when you come to those triplets, you can just with your hands help your triplet to look nicer. I take my side first and third close knot stitch and kind of pull them this way, and you can even or open them up like this. It depends what you like. They will open up on its own. You can even with the pin just pin it in the center, right in the center of a triplet like that. Put a pin to make your triplet like a little open up and look a little bit nicer. And then you just steam it, all this, whatever you will make. Let me grab that ugly piece that I was making during lesson. I really don't like it because all these things that I make during lessons, I throw it away. I have plenty of thread, of course, just for videos. And sometimes I just have to buy for videos thread in order to teach you. But I will have to throw it away because after I unravel, thread look awful. Let's just look how to make this piece that doesn't look really pretty, right? So here's your first stitch. Then we connect to the pin to places like single crochet stitches. I find my mistake at the very beginning I made today. I don't know if you noticed this, but you see how much smaller this place than this. Those 10 stitches, and here I don't know what I did, but here's my missing stitches right there on this tail. But okay, you didn't see it, okay? You didn't see it, don't tell anyone. Okay, now, next step, pick up whatever on the side to create a diamond here, right? Diamond, nice, beautiful shape. And again, we are on the front of our work, and you can see they are misbehaving, those stitches. Just a second, I have to do something. Like that. And so what I did to make it look a little bit nicer, I just put my pin right in the center of a triplet. Just helping my triplets look a little bit nicer and make a good shape. Right in the center here, where the triplet is. Like that. And it's already looking nice. When you steam it, it will the thread will behave way better. It will kind of lock itself in that place. And by the way, those triplets right here on top, I'm not connected to them yet, so I don't even pay attention to them right now. But here's my and what happened here? I don't even know. Did I turn something in the wrong place? I don't even know what happened here. Oh, okay, it just twisted. This is my not very beautiful triplet. But still I can fix it, right? And the same here. And sometimes you just a little bit kind of push them a little bit, give them a stretch, shape them with your fingers. That way your triplets will look nicer. And even this awful looking piece after blocking already look way better. So don't worry about it. Take your time. Don't be in a hurry with your work. Try at first to crochet this background netting with thread number 20, I would say. 10 will not give you good results unless you just want to see the stitches where they are, where the slip stitch, where single crochet, and where you connect to your triplet. That could help. And only then, only after that, you can go on to your fine thread. Because believe me, this background netting will look way, way better if you will crochet this with fine thread. It's why background netting in Irish crochet lace always made with fine thread. It's the finest and the most tedious job, the most beautiful, and it look way better when it's made with very fine thread. So here's my piece I was making yesterday just to show for the picture, to show what we're going to do. And it's already was blocked. Both pieces are blocked. This is why they look so cute. But of course, they will when you take pins out, and it will not be always perfect look. It does not look. Some of them look this way. Some of them look a little bit different way. It's not the point. You have this beautiful shamrocks here on this created by clones knot stitches. So ladies, do we have more questions for me? You're very welcome, everyone. Christina and Anna Marie. How to keep your pins from melting? Okay, what I do, I never touch it with my iron. So what I will do, I will get the iron and only like barely touching it, not touching my pins. Of course they will melt. You can cover all this with a thicker with linen cloth and steam it that way. But what I do, I just take my iron and barely touching, like keeping above my work, and press the steam button, and that's it. This is all you need. Of course, you don't touch right away your pins because they will be hot after steaming. I just let it cool off a little bit. After a few minutes, it will be easy to take them off. But they will not melt. As soon as you don't touch them, steam will not damage them. If you have pins that have metal tops, which is not very easy to find those kind of pins, then of course it will be way better. You don't melt those. I have very few pins like that. Okay, more questions. Okay, Jenny, yeah, you can show me your work. You can post pictures. Yes, Elizabeth, time goes so fast, and we spent basically, I don't know how, what, it's 2 o'clock already, almost 2 hours lesson. But you know what? I never mind how long the lesson is. Probably my lessons are not perfect, and some critics told me, some video gurus, that my lessons are way too long, and people don't like to watch long lessons. But I don't know and have no idea how to teach this kind of things in Irish crochet in 10 minutes lesson. I don't think it is a smart way of doing it. My drawing my ugly drawing. Here it is. This is the drawing. And I will have to make better drawing to post it online so that everybody could see it. This is it. This is what you wanted, right? So, okay, ladies, if you don't have any questions for me for this lesson, yes, it was long, but I had a lot of fun teaching you. I enjoy doing this. I'm glad you're learning. And if you're asking questions, I'm glad you're asking them. It's good to have this interaction with you. I really want you to ask questions. Never think that you ask some stupid question. I was a teacher before, and I always told my students, don't be afraid to ask questions. Only dummies don't ask questions. Smart people always ask questions. Ask questions, don't be afraid. I'm here for you to teach you. And thank you, Renee. I had the blast. I always do. I'm enjoying teaching. I wish we can just do live workshops that you can all visit. Come to Kansas one day, and we can do it when hopefully all this pandemic will go away, so we can do things easier and better for all of us. Yeah, I don't agree with gurus, Renee, also, because I believe to teach technique, especially as difficult as Irish lace, you need a lot of time. And if you cannot watch 2 hours, you can always come back, you can always pause the video and watch it later. So if you want to learn something, you will spend more time for that, right? This is what my philosophy is. Yeah. I can remember if I want to learn something, I can sit all day and dig in and learn, and it does not matter. I can learn 2, 3, 4 hours. Okay, my dear ladies, I'm glad you joined me. Thank you so much. You joined. I want to tell a special thank to those who donated extra money for my channel to support me. I really appreciate that. And I will see all of you with my next lesson next week, next Thursday. We will continue with background nettings. It will be ground 5th, 6th, and then 7th. And also we still have to learn how to make some edging. So I will try to choose a simple background netting to show you also with a different edging to decorate your work. And see you all soon. Have a wonderful rest of the week and weekend. Stay safe and healthy, and see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.